Good morning from Phalaborwa. Yes, I am a most beautiful place in Phalaborwa. And yeah, let me show you around a bit. Let me show you how beautiful this place is. I don't know if you can see much. I am surrounded by nature, just how I obviously love it. There's two big anthills right there. And I'm feeling super blessed today. We are busy getting tired. We are on our 4th month of being away from our beautiful farm in Neisner, well, Wilderness rather, next to the Toast River in Wilderness. And yeah, work travels, and although we are very, very grateful for all the beautiful travels that we have, it does get tiring. The weather here is very hot. It doesn't look like it today, but it's super humid. I have a little splash pool here, which I will get into after lunch, I'm sure. I feel honored and blessed to be here, though, and to be reading for you today out of my book. This is I've got English as well as Afrikaans, and then also the same with my journals in English and Afrikaans. The journal is without a year date, so you can use it forever. And so I wanted to say something else and I can't remember. Yes, I'm having difficulty this morning with my exercises on my Wi-Fi. As we are on stage 4, yeah, with electricity with Eskom, stage 4 blackouts. I don't know, it's a better word for that, which I'm not accessing the file at the moment for, but that's okay. I believe that everything that happens for a reason. The same with COVID, the same with the Eskom. I believe that there's new energy forms coming into play. I know that there's new energy forms coming into play, and I look forward to the renewing and the renewability of our lives. We are here for a reason, but we're also here for just a very short time. So I believe that we come here for a reason, and I've lived quite a life full of questions, and I honor that. I find the answers comes to me, and this is where my books come from. It took me 7 years to write just a thin book like this, very easy readable. I will put in the description of this video the links to my books and journals. I will also put into the links this beautiful space that I'm in at the moment, that you can rent when you're ever in Phalaborwa. Yeah, because I'm grateful for everything in my life, every little thing in my life that creates a beautiful life. I believe that I get more to be grateful for. So if this is the lesson that you take today, or the inspiration, I can't teach anybody. I'm no teacher, but if I inspire you to take even just that, that gratitude begets more gratitude, it would be worthwhile. But now I'm going to read chapter 5 of my book, and this is free. So if you want to listen, let's do it. So, and this chapter is all about success because of failing, which I did. And grateful for that too. So, your success and happiness lies within you. This is a quote from Helen Keller. Resolve to keep happy and your joy happy, and in your joy resolve to keep happy and let's start again. Helen Keller says, and Helen Keller is one of my beautiful mentors, blind and deaf, and she said, your success and happiness lies within you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. This has been my lesson for the last few weeks. And it's interesting. I knew it would come to me this way, but it did. I've also been seeing storks flying overhead. Every time I look up, I see storks flying overhead. And I checked out on Google. We've got so much information. We've got all the tools for information. So I checked out the spiritual meaning for storks. And exactly that was my lesson, has been my lesson now for the last few weeks, which is exactly what she says here, is to stay calm, keep in your calm, um, keep happy and joyful, even in all the adverse challenges that comes your way. And you shall form an invincible host against all difficulties. And all difficulties is also here just for a short time, the time that we came here to experience it. And it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. We come here for the experience. And if we know this, then why get stuck into your challenges and get stuck with all of that? Just breathe through everything. And yeah, I still haven't read. I'm going to read now. Each decision we make and every action we take are born out of an intention. Although we obviously do not intend to fail, if it was not for failures in our lives, we would not be able to get to success, as we actually fail our way to success. There are so many examples of this. Edison in 1879 created the first commercially practical incandescent light bulb. Yes, only by failing his way to success. What about when we started walking, falling down many times before we found our footing? That's also failing our way to success. In my previous book, I wrote about my many failures as well as the failures of other people. One example, the famous Simon Cowell, who was interviewed by Oprah and said, "Failing just opens us up to lessons of what not to do to get where we want to. How else would we learn?" To quote one of my favorite humans, Helen Keller, it's the one that I started the chapter with, keep in mind that she was blind and deaf. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Thinking about your favorite movie, song, or book, is it not about success, happiness, love, living at full potential? The only thing that is keeping us from living our best lives would be ourselves, not our circumstances or any other excuse, only ourselves. Success can be attained and only you hold the key. This can be done by recalling both the highs and lows, because life is full of opposites, like joy and pain, shadow and light, strengths and weaknesses. We need to learn to accept both our gifts and our wounds, and then, ironically, be extremely grateful for the lessons both bring. Life is about celebrating all of who we are. I was super blessed to find Christopher Reeve's autobiography, Still Me. It's called Still Me, while writing this book. Or perhaps it found me. We were on one of our work travel trips, and I managed to obtain lodging for a week in a little suburb, Kremataart, near Guyane. We're actually going there after this week. Next week we will be, well, we're only going there for one night actually. I'm looking for accommodation there. We rented from Neil van der Merwe, who, after seeing how much I enjoyed the lessons from his book, decided to gift it to me. I accepted, one of my many lessons learned. And that is in brackets, because that was one of my lessons, to learn how to accept presents. I love giving, but I had to learn to accept. So I accepted one of my lessons learned. It was gratitude, as it is filled with so many awesome life lessons. Wow, how sad and most ironic to think that this is our celebrity Superman who fell off his horse headfirst. This left our superhero incapable of any movement, not even being able to breathe by himself. He was being kept alive by a ventilator. Of course, I remember hearing about the accident, but because I had read his book, I learned what this extraordinary man managed to do with the seemingly dire circumstances he found himself in. For me, and I believe for so many others, he became even more of a superhero because of his challenges. Mind-boggling to think that through adversity you can be or do even more. It must have taken him and his wife lots of courage to form a foundation for spinal cord research, which propelled the existing information in this regard with leaps and bounds. After a sum up of his life, he was gratified by especially this last line in a Newsweek article that chronicled the new direction of his life. The writer concludes with this sentence: "We should all be so disabled." Despite his paralysis, the man who could not move never moved so much when he was walking. I quote this extraordinary human: "When you are in a dark room, you think, where is the exit? You find the exit by remaining calm and slowly feeling your way in the dark until you reach the door." As I have so much, as I have no such celebrity status, my wish for living my best life will be fulfilled through me sharing my experiences in my book, as well as my website, www.superblessedandloved.org. I truly wish that my readers will come to the realization that they can achieve success because they themselves hold the key. I will also put my website in the description. On the way to success, it is important to understand that we need to accept 100% responsibility for our actions, as well as to become aware that problems and challenges should be seen as an opportunity rather than a burden or punishment. This is not in the book, but I'm just thinking one of my challenges, as you can well hear, is just to form my words and to speak eloquently. And if I had to wait for perfection, I would maybe not, it would maybe not even be in my lifetime. So for me to fumble on my words and just give my imperfections, um, maybe this will inspire you to just do the things that your heart desire. Just fumble into it and fumble through it, because at least you're doing it. But if you wait for perfection to come your way, you're never going to get there. So as I go along, I'm sure my God will give me the grace of my eloquent wording, or if you need to get it that way, maybe you don't. Maybe you need to hear my fumbling so that you can do something for yourselves. So that's the piece. Let's get back to the book. When we are not afraid, here comes a lovely lesson. When we are not afraid to appear less than perfectly polished, we can often achieve an even better result. And this is just enhancing what I just said. By prizing heartfulness above faultlessness, we may reap more from our efforts because we are more likely to be changed by it. Hopefully I get to eloquent speech. We learn, grow, and transform not so much from what we do, but through the understanding of why and how we do it. Because of the courageous and tenacious work Superman did with his research, on 3 January 1998, the Clinton administration proposed to increase funding for the National Institute of Health by $1 billion per year. Even the president made a comment in a Times article saying that this century had been devoted to discoveries and achievements in the world around us, including the conquest of outer space. In the next century, we should focus on solving the mysteries and conquering the difficulties of the world within us. I cannot agree more. Superman said, I felt that part of the speech I gave at the Democratic Convention had been validated. At first something seems impossible, then it becomes improbable. But with enough conviction and support, it finally becomes inevitable. When the first Superman movie came out, I gave dozens of interviews to promote it. Most frequently asked question was, what is a hero? I remember how easily I talked about it. The glib response I repeated so many times. My answer was that a hero is someone who commits a courageous action without considering the consequences. Now my answer is completely different. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. We are led to achievements if we allow ourselves to feel. Many years ago, I was led to see the movie The Secret, and although it was feared by many of my fellow church family at that stage, I went to see it anyway, and it opened my eyes to reveal this truth. Feel with your spirit, with your own spirit. Like many of my age group, I was raised to be reserved and a bit closed off from anything introspective. Children are made to be seen and not heard was the tradition of my upbringing. Fortunately, through writing our own stories, we shall see new and exciting patterns of our lives unfold and reclaim who we really are. By doing this, we bring back the power of balance we need to have in order to move forward and start dreaming again. Let me read that sentence again. By doing this, fortunately, through writing our own stories, we shall see new and exciting patterns of our lives unfold and reclaim who we really are. By doing this, we bring back the power of balance we need to have in order to move forward and start dreaming again. We can discover unique aspects of our journey, much like myself writing this book. It shall help us recognize and avoid repeating old, non-productive patterns and set us free to focus our energy in new directions. And believe me, to have written this book, it took a lot of courage for me to even think that I had something to say, or that you would want to listen, or all of that came up for me. And yeah, I've had such good feedback on my book that now I know that it was necessary. And the growth that came with writing the book is, yeah, I can't even put into words, it's priceless. And if we fall, we don't need self-recrimination or blame or anger, just a reawakening of our intention and a willingness to recommit to be wholehearted once again. Intention is so much more than our own will. It is our everyday vision, what we long for, but more so, what we believe is possible for us. Each decision we make, every action we take, is born out of an intention. And again, one of Helen Keller's quotes. This is the end of the chapter with one of Helen Keller's quotes. What I am looking for is not out there, but in here. It's in me. And with that, that's the end of the chapter. So my feathers, each one of my book has a feather in that I've picked up over the years, and this can become your own bookmark. And then in the end of my book, this is my book, so it doesn't have it in, but at the end, let me show you my Afrikaans book. I have gifted you this little gift. Here it is. It says Superblessed, and I believe I am creating a community who will have belief that they are super blessed. And because you have that belief, we can do so much more with our lives. And yeah, to remember each and every day that we are super blessed, yeah, becomes such a habit. And because the belief is there, your intention gets set each day to create something even more beautiful. So each day for me is a brand new day. I'm a work in progress. So every day for me is to create something, a Juanita, more beautiful than the day yesterday. So, and wow, I fail a lot, but I'm failing my way to success. And each day gets better and better. And each chapter that I read gets better and better. And I believe for you the same will occur. I'm sending so much love, beautiful blessings. You might have the most awesome day and be super blessed. Much love.